Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Florida, the Gators take down the Houston Cougars 65-63. Florida wins an instant classic, their first title since 2007 when they went back-to-back, 06, 07, when they had Joakim Noah, they had Al Horford. They won back-to-back titles under Billy Donovan. I think that's who their coach was, Billy Donovan. Houston had a chance to take the lead or tie in the final seconds, but failed to get a shot off in the final, 19 seconds? Or 12 seconds. But anyway, they failed to get a shot off. Cougars have now appeared in 3 national championship games, 7 Final Four without a victory. And they were really close. Reminds me of 83. They were in a tie ball game, and Derek Wittenberg heaves up a shot, and Lorenzo Charles catches it and dunks it as time ends, and they lose that heartbreaking game. That was Phi Slamma Jamma, Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. They had an unbelievable team, but unfortunately, Larry Michaud, Benny Anders, they were not able to get it done. They got taken down by the NC State Wolfpack. It was 19 seconds, and they didn't get a shot off in 19 seconds, Ocho, watching this ball game, I thought Houston, I thought both teams got a little antsy early, started taking some ill-advised shots. It seemed like everybody was trying to end the game early. Sir. And late, I don't know why Houston was taking some of the shots that they took, but I think you got to give Florida credit because they didn't panic. They got down 12, and they didn't panic. They stuck with their offense. They kept getting great sets. Houston was fouling, putting them on the free throw line. I mean, they got a couple of and ones and dug themselves back into the ball game. But watching this ball game, I know you picked Florida to win it. But what did you like about what you saw?
I mean, listen, I like what I saw from Houston. I know they didn't win the game, but obviously I think Houston forcing Florida to have so many turnovers in the first half and a few in the second half.
Yes.
I really thought Houston was going to run away with the game at some point when they were up by 12. Listen, obviously Florida being known for their explosive scoring, they faced challenges really penetrating the Houston defense early in the game, especially once they got up 12. I thought Houston was going to run better plays, slow the game down itself, and kind of keep the lead extended. But obviously in the Florida coming out in the second half, they managed to get back into the game. And obviously we see how the game ended, in Florida's favor. But nonetheless, it was a great game. I enjoyed it. One of the few times, now that I've been a part of the show, one of the few times I've actually sat down and watched collegiate basketball throughout the entirety of the NCAA series. And I actually enjoyed it, honestly.
I thought both teams played outstanding defenses. Nobody shot above 40%. Both teams were 25 or below from the three-point line. Florida was better from the free throw line, 17 or 21 for 81%. Houston was 9 of 14 for 64%. Rebounding was right there, 40 rebounds for Florida, 39 for Houston. The game was really nip and tuck. But the thing is that we saw the other night with Duke and Houston. And Houston should have known that teams don't give up because, 2 minutes, 3 minutes is an eternity in college basketball. But I think you really have to look. I know a lot of people going to say Houston gagged this one off, they choked this, and maybe so. But still, in order for a team to come back and win when you're down 12 points late in the ball game or when you're down at any point in time, you still have to execute your offense. Because even though they may have choked, that don't mean you get the lead automatically. You still have to put the ball in the basket. And they were down, and they executed, and they put the ball in the basket when they absolutely had to.
And most definitely also, I think Houston in the second half, their shot selection, some of the shots, they were trying to put up instead of waiting and allowing the game to come to them, they were very bad. And I think that also allowed Florida to come back into the game. And I just want to mention Walter Clayton Jr. His leadership throughout the tournament, especially in the championship game, solidified his status as one of the top performers to me of all time. I can't run down some of the top performers in a game of this magnitude, but what I saw from him and his ability to score under pressure and facilitate plays in crucial moments for Florida, I think is one of the reasons why they won this game.
Yeah, he didn't have his best ball
No.
game. Richard played really well. He came in, hit a couple of three early that really kept him close early in the ball game. He played well. Alex Condon played really, really well. Clayton got 11 points, but he was 1 for 7 from the three, and he got most of his points. As a matter of fact, he got all 11 of his points in the second half because he was shut out in the first half. 3 or 10 from the floor. But like I said, both of these teams played outstanding defense. And I think a lot of the percentages that you see had to do with the defensive effort. And you look, you on this stage, Ocho, we dealing with teenagers. We deal a lot of these kids, 19, 20 years of age, not being in this situation. And so, they know what's at stake. Hey, I got a chance to be a national champion. I got a chance to be remembered forever at my university. And Houston's going to be kicking themselves because they had this game under control and somehow they let it slip away from them. But I think you got to give Florida a lot of credit because they stuck with it. They got timely plays, got timely turnovers. I think the biggest turning point, Ocho, was when the guy tried to split. He tried to split the double team and he ended up dribbling the ball off his knee. Why? Yeah. Why? There's a guy on you. You're trying to go between another guy that's guarding the guy, but you try to split it. I mean, which was unnecessary. Pull the ball back out.
It is also unnecessary, but we see it happen all the time. Listen, I'm not saying he's in the NBA, but we see many guards, many players that play the 1 and the 2 split. We see him split it all the time. So I know exactly what he's trying to do. He just wasn't able to execute it the right way because the ball obviously hit off his knee.
But this was a very good game. Look, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing because both of these teams can have the propensity. They can make a game look ugly. They can monk it up, especially Houston, because they play defense. They get up into you and they make you execute. Yeah. And so, you look at the percentages and you're going to understand why the game was 65-63. Because neither team shot above 40% from the floor. Neither team shot 25 or better than 25% from the three. And so when you get those kind of percentages, Ocho, you're going to get a low-scoring game and you're going to get an ugly game. But at the end of the day, let me win ugly as opposed to lose pretty. That's the way I look at it. And Florida did what they needed to do. Like I said, they kept themselves attached even though they got down 12 points. And you're like, damn, all right, Florida, y'all better do something. And every time they hit a 3, they hit another 3, they cut it to 6, they get a layup, they cut it to 4. Houston push it back to 8, they get another 2, boom, 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 they go to 6. But Houston had this drought, Ocho, where it was just basically they were just getting from the free throw line. They couldn't get anything in the basket, and they hit a couple of guys shot the 3 out the corner of the backboard at an angle. I'm like, well, damn.
Hey, it all comes.
I got to be feeling good about that, Ocho. I'm like, hey, everything going in for us.
Listen, that shot selection was abysmal in that second half. Instead of allowing the game to come to you, you pressing when you shouldn't be pressing. Take your time, run your plays. That's one thing to say sitting here at home, but understanding the magnitude of the situation, things change.
Yeah. And plus, Florida early on, Houston was getting second chance after second chance. They were getting opportunity. They were cleaning them up on the glass, playing outstanding defense. They were blocking shots. They were stealing the ball. And they were doing everything. This is the type of game that Houston wanted to play. And Florida kind of got out of sorts, taking quick shots, turning the ball over. Because at one point, I think Florida had turned the ball over 5 times, and Houston didn't have any. But they settled themselves down. I think you have to give Florida a lot of credit. That coaching staff did a great job of settling his players down. Like, look, guys, we can't win the ball game in the first half. Let's play our brand of basketball. Let's do what we do. But it takes a lot for a team to get down like they did and still find a way to come up and win. Because when they needed to make plays, they made plays, and you have to give Florida staff credit for that. Kelvin Sampson's probably kicking himself. He's like, man, what the hell do we have to do in this game?
To get one.
Because I guarantee you, if somebody told him up, say, at the beginning of the year, you're going to be up 12 points with about 7 minutes to play in the ball game, he would like the position of being in that position. But that's an eternity. And it seems like, damn, can the clock go any faster? Can we have a running clock even if the ball goes out of bounds? That clock is stopping at everything, and you're like, damn. But it was a situation, Ocho. I think you have to give Florida more credit than you place blame on Houston. I know Houston made some mistakes that they don't normally make in that position. But even though you made those mistakes, somebody has to capitalize on them. And that's what Florida was able to do. They were able to capitalize on the mistakes, and that's what they did. They capitalized, and they're the national champs. And they are here it is again. The SEC, they pulled it out. They sent 14 teams to the tournament, and the last man standing was an SEC team. So that was a pretty good game. I'm glad I got an opportunity because hey, Florida's really Florida's a football school. You're in the SEC unless you're Kentucky. You're a football school.
Yeah, most definitely.
And Houston is a basketball school because they've had some good players come out of. Elvin Hayes came out of University of Houston. Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon. So they've had some pretty good players come out of there. More so than I think of as the football team. But I think you got to give Florida Gators more credit than you place blame on the University of Houston, because I think Florida got this with their execution late in the ball game, and they were able to pull out a 65-63 win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a good ball game, Ocho. I know that everybody in Houston is going to be, everybody in Texas is going to be upset. A lot of people are going to be upset because they think Houston gagged
it. Wait a minute. Honestly, if I know everybody in Houston watched the show. I know they watched the show yesterday, and I told them. I told them when I talked to Kmart, one thing you don't bet against Florida. Now, even though I didn't go to Florida, listen, I am from the state of Florida, so I understood. Houston is one of the greatest cities. We talk about it all the time. One of the greatest cities of all time. You hear me? Now, listen. Look, if you can see me, right? God, I'm talking to you when I'm talking to you. But I know you're picking up what I'm putting down. But when it comes to basketball, I already knew how the script was going to play. I knew how it was going to play out. That's why I made the bet I bet.